Atlus decide to wake up from their coma and give us some pretty hefty Persona 5 news. They showed off a new trailer, some DLC, and reminded everyone that Persona 1 and 2 were a thing at one point, and that the game is indeed coming out in Japan. And I'll be talking about the details of the release stuff later. But lordy, have y'all been asking me left and right about Persona 5. Oh, what do you think about it? Do a reaction. Are you gonna do a beginner's guide? How many copies of the game do you want shoved up your butt? Etc, etc. So let me give you guys the thing you want. Let's talk about Persona Gosh Diddly Dang 5. Now, I'm not gonna analyze the trailer or give my theories about the game and oh, what does this mean? Look, no need to really speculate. The game is coming out eventually, and we all know it's gonna be good. I'm patient, and honestly, if you're desperate for those Persona 5 deets, there's already a ton of information online you can see for yourself. And a lot of our questions have been answered somewhere, and there's no need for me to rehash crap we basically already know. And let's face it, if you're watching this, you're a fan, and you probably know the information better than me anyway. For me, when it comes to games like Persona, I love the mystery of the world and story, and from what I know, it's just enough to be mega excited and just ignorant enough to be mega surprised by basically everything. And hello there, handsome. But real talk, I'm just gonna kiss the game's butt for about 10 minutes and talk about my feelings. So strap in, sonny, and join me on this downward spiral of obsession. And for the record, I am going to do a beginner's guide of the game, of course. I mean, more than half of you people are here because of my Persona videos, and everyone knows I'm quite the weeb myself. So heck yeah. Now, let's jump into what all I think about Bun's Aesthetic Simulator 2016. And for the sake of Atlus not getting weird with the copyright claims and God forbid a strike, I'm gonna be altering the trailer stuff like crazy, so just FYI. Alright, let's go! Now, let's start with the obvious and the thing that seals the deal for me. Holy crap, does this game look good! And not from that stupid gamer trope of, oh man, look at these rock textures, and man, I sure hope this game runs at 500 frames per second and 8K in my new gaming PC. Nah man, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When it comes to things looking good, art direction is the thing that makes or breaks the game. Like, Grand Theft Auto is technically a good-looking game graphically, but Journey is the kind of game that makes you want to poop your pants. And Persona 5 style looks wonderful. From the menus, the environment, details and animation, the red, the aesthetics are on point. One of the patterns Atlus has kind of picked up after Persona 3 is the themes of the game is incredibly apparent in the general design, and it causes the games, while extremely familiar to each other, to have a unique feel. Persona 3's theme was death and apathy with blue as the most prominent color, Persona 4 was truth and yellow, and now Persona 5 is freedom and red. And cast your votes on what you think Persona 6 is gonna be, green or purple. Of course, my personal vote is on eggshell white, but that's just me. Now, what I like from Persona 5 when it comes to its style is that it feels like a new generation game. The style is familiar enough to past games, but feels new and fresh, and really distinguishes itself from 3 and 4. And I also really love the color red. Creating the game in a beefed up Catherine engine just butters my buns though, because Catherine, first of all, looks wonderful, and two, the game basically acted as an engine warm-up for Persona 5, and from what we have seen, they have worked that bad boy well. And what's nice about the engine use is that originally it was for PlayStation 3, and since Atlus stuck to their word about keeping the game on the PS3, thank God, I don't expect much, or if any, graphical difference between the PS4 and PS3 versions, give or take the resolution or frame rate. Atlus doesn't really make graphically strenuous games, they just make them long as crap and visually pleasing as hell. And I mean, come on guys, just look at it. Look at it! This game is me! It's so pretty! Also, the music. The music. I love it. I absolutely love it. It feels like a Persona OST, but boy, has the music never stood out to me this much. Fun fact about me, use of heavy strings and whatnot is my weakness. I will buy this OST, I will marry this OST, and we will have beautiful bun babies. Oh, I'm not being dramatic. Listen, good music makes games for me. I bought Metal Gear Rising for the music, same with Final Fantasy 13 2 and Bayonetta, Flower and Journey make me bawl like a baby, and you should never underestimate the power of music in games. Now shut up and let's listen to this crap! Alrighty, so a few things we really haven't seen a massive abundance of is the world. But from what we have seen, let me just say, thank God there's stuff happening around here. When it comes to the everyday life world, I'm digging the little things. The world looks vibrant and active, almost like real life, if you will, and I think the life simulator is going to be a lot more interesting to interact with compared to P3 and P4, where everyone was just either running around in circles or staring into the sun for 6 hours. Now, is the life part open world? Like, I'm asking, is any of this game really open world? I sure hope so. I mean, there was some information about it being more open world or something, or a rumor, and I really hope that's the case. The thing I hope they get right is the natural transition between the real world and the edgy super world counterpart. Like, I know the gameplay gets mega switched up, but lordy, it would be nice to feel like I'm actually playing the same game instead of a total half and half when it comes to past Persona games. Fun fact, when I first saw Persona 4, it was a Let's Play, and then I skipped like 3 episodes, and I was convinced I was watching the wrong video because the gameplay switch was so drastic. I like separate gameplay styles, but not like Whiplash. The gameplay in the real world looks meaty with the jobs and the events and stuff. Looks good. I'm digging it. I'll take that over running around all the time, not really doing anything interesting. But, the real thing I'm so happy about is the fact that they're adding more mechanics in the dungeon parts of the game. The dungeon parts have something to do with stealing hearts back or whatever. I don't know, like I said, I'm keeping things a mystery to myself, but the gameplay matches the theme. They sneakin', they stabbin', they runnin', and when I first saw this junk, I was like, ah, haha, yes! The Persona games are really, really good JRPGs, but can they get mega repetitive since the dungeons are randomly generated? You bet your sweet bippy they do. For me, Persona has been in dire need of a gameplay overhaul because Persona 3 and 4 played identically. They keep in the turn-based in P5 though. Good. Stick to the central mechanic. The Persona's all that, yes, that's what we like. But the fact that the dungeons have more to them, there's some sort of stealth, hardcore, parkour, and action set pieces, I feel like it's going to take a lot of the grindiness out of the series. And I mean, I do love myself a good grind now and then, but I'm also a fan of flashy takedowns, and now mice apparently. Again, sticking to the theme, the use of masks as personas, great, love it, beautiful, it's so good. Look, I know it's a lot of butt kissing, but can you blame me? Like, have you seen my hair? Anime runs through my veins. I don't see many games that embody my aesthetics. I need this, guys. Now, mechanic, style, and everything else aside, the real memorable parts of Persona have always been the story. We have been given a pretty decent chunk of info when it comes to the general plot, stealing hearts, people gonna break free, etc., etc. Like I said, trying to keep it a surprise for myself, so I'm not digging around too much, but so far, it intrigues me. Although it might be getting a little too close to the Persona 4 story with what we saw in some of the bosses and the trailers, but from what I know, it's unique enough to not feel like we're treading on the same tracks. But what I really like is that the protagonist seems to have an active personality with his alter ego now. I like this, give the man some space. I know past protagonists had a personality, but most of it was expanded on movies, animes, and other games. Give me the cinnamon roll now, you feel? I'm just getting a little tired of people falling over the protag because he's the quiet, courageous type. The contrast between the protagonist and the thief is great, gives the game more attitude, if you feel, and I'm all for alter egos. That stuff is interesting. Hey, and speaking of attitude, I have a feeling this game is going to be a tad darker compared to Persona 4. But not like Persona 3 level, which is kind of obvious because of the red, and red is a lot more vibrant, and a box of puppies isn't as upbeat as Persona 4. And I swear to God, if the Shin Megami Tensei fans start complaining that Persona isn't dark compared to their precious little babies and blah blah blah, look how edgy I am. Persona sucks. Play a real JRPG. I'ma poop myself. Look, I like games being upbeat, but I feel more invested if the underlining tone is serious. Persona 5 feels like a mix between P4 and 3's tone, and overall it just feels badass. It's finding a good middle ground, you feel? But what is Persona without the social links? And let's get the big one out of the way. Waifus. We saw the rest of the P5 cast in the new trailer and a bunch of new chicks as well. Fan art coming out the wazoo, and already people are picking the faves. You got the girl with the short hair, Glasses McGee, this one, and like I said, waifus out of the wazoo. And personally, I got nothing for you. Honestly, I just want to wait and see their characters in action. Like, who cares what they look like if they have the personality of cardboard? I sure hope that doesn't happen again. Of course, Anne is currently my indirect fave, but then again, we've seen her the most, and I'm not very creative, so you really can't trust my opinion on this one. One of the things people keep clamoring on about, though, is having a gay love option in the game, and my thoughts, who knows? Like, cool if they do, if they don't. Missed opportunity for a mass influx in fanfiction on Atlas's part, in my opinion. Moving on, though. Atlas, I know. We all know. Your love for Persona 4 is apparent. Y'all have had some good times, made a few spin-off games. A little too much, in my opinion. But you keep the game alive with a taser. We all know you buddy, but for the love of God, please, let it die. I know putting in past game Easter eggs is an expected thing for Persona, but please, spare us. I'm tired. If you put any reference to Persona 4 in 5, just please make it subtle. And don't make a big song and dance about it like JK Chie is actually the final boss! I like Persona 3 references in 4, so let's stick to what we know, okay? Please let it die. But, what I am down for is a big Catherine Easter egg. I don't know if some of you all know this, but there was a little rumor/theory floating around that the protagonist was Vincent and Catherine's kid, or at least related to them. But please, oh, that would be cute. And it makes sense for the most part. Heck, even the protagonist runs like Vincent in some of the footage we've seen, so it's not impossible. I'm grasping at straws here. I really like Catherine, okay? Make it happen, Atlas! Well, the perks of being in the Japanese games, I guess this is our punishment, the American and European release date. So far, it hasn't been confirmed for English folks, and to be honest, I'm kind of relieved it's supposedly not on September 15th worldwide for a few reasons. The big one being Final Fantasy 15. Look, when you have two of the most anticipated JRPGs released 2 weeks apart from each other, that's a lot to play, and well over $100 new. I prefer getting P5 later, since I can spread out my money and playtime because I want to see the light of day in September. I feel bad for Japan though, good luck picking, guys. Of course, the downside of having different release dates is Persona is all about that story, and spoilers is gonna be mega hard to deal with because everyone's so thirsty. I just hope the gap ain't too bad, and I can wait, I'm a patient bun. Persona 5 is apparently going to be at E3 this year, and I am certain we will get a release date, maybe in November or God forbid March. Only time will tell though. The moral of the story is I'm excited. I have no doubt in my mind Persona 5 will be great and probably the best Persona so far, I'm hoping. Everything we have seen so far, I am completely sold on. So, should you be hyped for Persona 5? No, because you should never be hyped for anything. We know better, guys. This is the gaming industry. Hope you all enjoyed this video, guys. And if you agree with me, that's great. And if you want to murder my insides, that's wonderful. Why don't you tell all your friends about my awfulness and share this on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr so they know you hate me extra much. Later, you big nerds. Buns out. I literally just dropped the mic. Buns is out. I'm gonna go take a nap.